How's it going, guys and gals? This is Advanced Warrior here, and welcome back to another Advanced Wars by Web replay commentary. I know it's been a while since I've last done one of these replay overviews. The last time was months ago, back when I did Javier versus Lash. And if you've been keeping up with my channel, you can see that I've done live streams with Advanced Wars by Web and live plays for videos, but never done a replay commentary. And I noticed it's been quite the while since I've last done one, and I've played several matches. And this one was an entertaining one to play. This match in particular, so I thought it would be worthy of a replay. And if you can see, I have Lucina as my mouse cursor. It's so cute. Like, look at the pointer. She's swinging her sword. You know, just start at the HQ. I'm getting distracted. So, if you know these two COs and you know that this matchup can be quite the tricky one for the CO that I'm playing, which is Rachel. Rachel's day-to-day is that she can heal units for free on her properties, whether it's the city, base, or whatever property repairs the correct unit. So +1 HP might not seem much. You can see that there's a slight drawback here. It's liable for costs, so you will be spending your funds to get that additional repairs on your units. And +1 may not seem that much, but sometimes when you have a 1 HP advantage over your opponent's unit, you could come out with a better result during the first strike. Now, just for one day, you may not seem like much, but say you use her day-to-day for 2 days. Other CEOs are only going to repair for 4, but in Rachel's case, in 2 days she can repair her units for 6, which is pretty nice. But also be careful when you're repairing so many units, because that can really hamper your funds. Her regular power is called Lucky Lass, which can increase her luck chance by 39%, meaning that there will be an increased chance for her to deal additional damage, and perhaps maybe if she can deal 70% damage on a unit, might be a chance that she can do 100 and kill it in one shot. It's a very situational, very niche power, but a lot of people really like Rachel for her covering fire, which shoots 3 missiles amongst 3 separate groups of enemies. Each of these missiles have their own targets. The first missile, I believe, attacks the most number of infantry on the map and tries to get the most damage off them. The second one, I believe, goes for the highest damage by funds. So if your opponent has a group of expensive units close together, it'll try to go for that. And the third one will go for the most numerical damage. So most units grouped up together, that will hit. 2 and 3 might be swapped over, but you'll see it on the screen when I put the edit in, and it's kind of nice global damage in a way. It can force your opponent to try to play around it. You may play to their advantage, may not play to their advantage. Excuse me, but yeah, covering fire, it deals a lot more damage than a meteor strike. Obviously, just spread out a bit more, which some people may like. However, my opponent is Andy, and Andy, just like Adder, has no day-to-day abilities, which I hear a lot of people say is not the greatest thing to have. But Andy's powers are really, really good. Hyper Repair does a global healing to all of the units for 2 health, and yeah, it can be useful sometimes. But his much scarier ability is Hyper Upgrade, which heals his units for 5, gives them a plus 10% damage boost, and also gives his units plus 1 movement. I think. I don't know if it's vehicles or all units, but Hyper Upgrade is really, really good. Like, you can have a half damage HP, bring them back to full, and they slightly hit harder, and they can move much further too, so you can have really big push with all these very healthy units in the middle of the map, if done correctly. Let's also not forget to mention that Rachel's superpower is not very great against Andy's superpower, because he can just heal his units back up to either 9 or full if those missiles ever hit a unit that can be repaired on the city. So yeah, just my luck. I play Rachel and I'm up against Andy. And Andy, I've seen that a lot actually. Rachel and Andy are both in tier 3, and according to Advanced Wars by Web, Andy is the strongest tier 3 CO, and Rachel is like somewhere further in the back. And you can see why with the covering fire being countered by the healing that Andy can provide. Alright, so the map is 1v1 Marengo, 1 versus 1 Marengo. First thing I might notice is that the comm towers here are actually very close, and these comm towers can be pretty contestable if you're going out with a recon, say a recon, and you can see a unit capturing. You can just try to interrupt it. So personally, I tend to try to get the comm tower not as soon as I can, but when I feel like I'm in a slightly good spot, I'll try to go for this comm tower. Here you can see that this little bridge is blocked by a mountain. I have one base up here that could cover up here. It's divided by this river, and the 2 bases down here, they can go towards the middle or towards the side. And I tried to use this bottom side as my strong side because I have 2 bases here, and for this one base is my more defensive side, and we've got this airport that can go any direction it chooses. Yeah, these pipes really kind of narrow where units can go, but not by so much. There are forts down here to slow you down just a bit. So without further ado, let's begin. Very basic infantry builds coming from both of us, and both of us have a very I'm so sorry about that. And both of us have a very similar beginning, which is to capture the bases as soon as we can, so we can increase our unit production. Yeah, he just goes and cuts the river, not going for this airport. It's too early to go for an airport, and he captures the nearest cities from the bases with his infantry. Like I said, very standard stuff. You can see there's a slight similarity between the 2 of us. He's just getting his a little more quick because he has an extra infantry, which really does help out player 2 a lot. So moving on to day 3, capturing the base, and he's moving this one to capture his airport. Moves this one out here to go and capture the city, and he builds a turn 3 recon. Now, when I first saw this, I thought this was fairly aggressive. You're not producing so much infantry that you can just capture. I find that if you have a lot of infantry in your army, you'll do pretty alright, because say you have your bigger units winning fights, but if you have no infantry, then you can't take advantage of capturing the properties that are near them. And this recon, like I said, I think it's pretty aggressive, but I also can kind of understand when the comm towers are somewhere in the middle where it can be contested for interruption. Day 4 for me. Go ahead and capture the base. Move my infantry up to capture this airport, similar to my opponent. And I'd go for the city, similar. And here, I move my infantry up, which leaves me a choice for the next turn. Do I want to capture this city and just keep getting an income, or do I want to secure the safety of the comm tower and guarantee that it's mine? I had some trouble thinking about this a lot, actually, when I initially played. So here he moves his infantry back to get this city, because the river really hampers the movement of infantry. And yeah, very similar plays. Puts his infantry on the mountain so he could get that city with the very next turn. And continues to build more infantry. Me, I capture the 2 properties that I had. I'm getting the airport, moving my infantry back to get the back city. Again, infantry on the top to capture the city. So very similar capturing patterns that we have, except for this recon. I don't have my recon yet. I have my tank instead. When it comes to whether you want to build a tank or a recon first, if you want to build a recon, it's fairly safe. It gives you information, and if you can catch your opponent off guard, then you can harass and interrupt caps. However, with a tank, it will be closer to the front lines, and if you build a recon afterwards, they can just catch up fine. So I produce infantry, and here I go for this. I go for this comm tower because I was really paranoid about losing this comm tower, and something told me, apparently because he has a recon that's heading straight for the center. And I use this infantry to go for this city that this infantry could have gotten. Alright, day 5. He goes for the city in the back. He's moving his infantry forward, close to his HQ. And yeah, he already has started capturing this city, unlike me when I'm going for the comm tower. I don't think he could have made it to the comm tower as quickly as me. You look at the replay, you can initially tell. Now here I thought this was kind of weird, right? He moved his infantry here, which cannot reach either city. If he took this infantry and moved it down here, then yeah, he would be able to immediately get the city. I don't know if my opponent was planning to try to get the comm tower with this infantry and just send this one down. Because yeah, this isn't reaching anywhere, so if it's going straight for the comm tower, then sure, but personally, me, I like to get as much income as I can. Moves his recon out, just barely out of sight of my comm tower, so yeah, if he can't see it, then he can't interrupt it, so I made a very good call trying to get this comm tower. And now he builds his tank, and he accidentally misses an infantry. Oh wow, I just noticed that. That's kind of brutal. You don't want to base skip at all, unless he's base skipping to purposely try to tech up earlier. But when you base skip, your turns are less dynamic, and your unit count also goes down. I have had games where I try to tech up as soon as I can by saving money and leaving bases empty, but that just left for less dynamic turns and my unit count going down. And like I said, infantry, if you have a lot of infantry that could follow up to capture properties, that is very good. So here, I'm going straight for the comm tower. Again, he cannot see it, so he cannot interrupt it. Capture what I can. Mountain infantry goes for that city. And I move my tank up closer to the center to hopefully find some action either down here or in the middle. Could be up here as well. Move this up here, so now I can choose between this city or this city. And I build a second tank. Having 2 tanks close to each other is really good. Like say this was somewhere in the middle right now. This can actually help cover this tank. If it gets hit from any direction, this one can pull back and the second one can come in and attack a damaged tank with full HP. And since I'm Rachel, if I just put it here, it will heal up for 3 and now have +1 HP regular compared to other COs. So now my opponent's turn. Does his regular capturing, and now he moves this up. Probably going for the comp tower, or could be capturing one of these cities. But yeah, he has 3 infantry here, 2 cities, the comp tower. One of these is definitely going for the comp tower. And he moves his tank more towards the left actually, while I move mine more towards the center. And he builds an artillery. Sure, that's fine. Artillery are pretty good if you know how to use them correctly. But me personally, I would like to build artillery on my weaker side. So this should be my weak side. This should be his weak side, but he decides to build one here. And I can kind of see why, because there's forests that can cover these more contested properties on the side. Infantry move up and puts his recon in the forest. Here he sees I have this comm tower secured. He cannot do anything to interrupt it now. So day 7, finally get my comm tower. I get a sigh of relief when I got that. And here I'm going for this city up here, because I wanted to bring this through the mountain and river and put it through the city and get it to the city in the corner, which is kind of tricky to get for both sides. I move this infantry up to get this city because I also think this is a very contested property as well. Move my tank up in the forest. Shouldn't have been seen by the recon. And I move my tank up to follow. Capturing. And I have enough funds to build an artillery and 2 infantry. Yeah, this recon cannot see my, wouldn't have seen my tanks. Artillery moves up closer to his HQ. Does the regular capturing. And as I predicted, one of his infantry is going for this comp tower. Stands out on the mountain just to scout out anything beforehand. Looks like this one's moving down. I could go for this city. Tank moves towards the center. And he builds a battlecopter, which is turn 7 battlecopter. I would say it's alright. I have a slight problem using battlecopters because they can just get shot down by a single unit that costs 2,000 less. But we'll see how he plays with this. And he base skips again. Yeah, I'm just noticing that he's base skipping. So now we're even on units. All right. Getting my captures in. Now moving my tank here to see if he's got his comm tower. He obviously does not. And we're starting to see some overlap here. He's got units on my half. I've got units on his half. Yeah, which I thought was kind of interesting. I moved this second tank up here to follow up, because if this ever gets caught out, this one can reinforce. Go ahead and capture the cities as well as I can. I try to hide my unit in the forest, but here I get caught. So I'm just like, okay, yes. He saw me capturing the comm tower. He wanted to interrupt it. Unfortunately not. So he's just getting information now. You can see I'm capturing this, but unfortunately this artillery can't get a clean shot on it unless he loops around in the back, which he physically cannot do. Infantry continue to move up, and I like to build lesser tanks on my side, my defensive side here, because an artillery can't cover everything. An artillery cannot directly attack. Again, loading on my bases with infantry. Day 8 goes for his comm tower. With this infantry up here, personally I would have gone for this city here and have this one go for the comm tower. Moves his recon in, doesn't get as much information, and tank goes in the forest, kills my unit. Puts his Infantry on the city. You can see these 3 cities are yet to be captured. Infantry moving forward. These moving down. Capture those properties. And Battlecopter moves forward closer towards the center. And it can actually cover his comm tower if anything ever goes for it. And he builds a recon, which I agree with. Recon on the weaker side helps out, even though I don't have a I don't have a recon on my side. I just went for power rather than utility. And he builds a transport copter, which he actually, I will say, does put good use to it. I remember that. Does he keep base skipping, or is this just a glitch? We'll have to see for the next turn. So I captured these 2 properties I felt were very contested. Glad I got them. Moving my infantry up and moving my tank to interrupt this cap. Not only interrupt, but also stop it entirely. Because he could have something in these mountains that could run down and join cap. So it'd be a lot harder to interrupt this cap. I want to prevent him from getting his comm tower less turns than me. Move my artillery up. It can cover these 2 areas unless they attack right in front of me. So that's... Oh, and I move my infantry up here. I can see this. No one's here, and no one's on the city yet. And like I said, I'm making this one capture the city in the corner. And my tank can actually come in and reinforce if he ever does have a unit come up and attack right in front of my artillery. Just moving my infantry up. And now I build my recon for the utility, because now I feel like, yeah, now I'm more comfortable with utility. Infantry moving forward, and I build in anti-air. I would say a turn late compared to his battlecopter. I haven't seen it yet, but anti-air are always good to get. You could get a preemptive one. You will be thankful. And I fill it up with infantry, leaving 2,000 funds with me. Day 9, let's see. Loses artillery up here, which prevents me from, doesn't prevent, but can punish me if I try to interrupt this capture, and can punish me if I try to interrupt this capture, which this one is less likely. But he does go for this one though, which is a lot safer. He moves his transport copter 2 spaces away from his base. Very likely that he's going for a mech unit. Brings his battlecopter up here. Damages my my tank on the plains. Because this top one here will get a better trade damaging me on the city. Damaging me on the street. So I wasn't hoping this would happen. I was hoping, you know, these 2 would be healthy and he'd only have enough to attack one, then I can reinforce with the other one. But he built a surprising battlecopter and left both of me crippled here. Moves his recon and his infantry down. He moves this one up in the forest. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, infantry down to capture properties. Hides his unit in the forest, hides his recon in the forest as well. He builds a tank on the weaker side, and artillery recon on the top. It is now day 10. I see I have 2 units that are severely damaged. So I pull mine back to this city, and I try to capture this one. And this one as well. I move my tank back. I'm trying to remember why I didn't go for this one. Maybe I felt that he would spot it out and then kill my tank, leave me with 1 less tank. But I wanted to keep both of my tanks alive, and I felt this was safer than repairing now. it will be full health in 2 turns, like I said at the beginning of the video. Try to move my artillery here so we could cover these 3 cities, but unfortunately I get trapped. So I move my tank up and heavily damage his artillery, which 1 HP, 2 HP artillery are still pretty good because they can scout. But yeah, I see that it's weak, so I'm just going closer towards the cities. I move mine back just to do some scouting as much as I can. I can't see any of these 3 units, but my tank here actually can. Anti-air is on its way to take down that copter. I build my own battle copter, and typical infantry just moving forward. I build a tank and use the remaining funds for an infantry. Let's see how my opponent responds to this. Goes for his middle city on the top. Gets the cities down here. Has a recon. Come in. Interrupts my cap. Yeah, if I put my tank here, yeah, something could have come down and killed it. So I'm glad I put it in the forest. Uses his battle copter to actually kill. So he moves his infantry up to finally get his comm tower. He also decides to go for this scouting infantry, which puts him in a good spot because he's on a city, which gives him 3 defense, which is going to be really hard to hit. Moves his infantry forward, artillery, recon moves up, captures his top city, pulls his recon back to heal. I guess a 4 HP recon does stand a better chance against infantry than 2 HP recon. And here is artillery in a really good spot here. Unless I decide to loop around maybe. But yeah, 3 out of the 4 spots are dangerous. As usual, infantry moving forward, and he kept his battlecopter sitting here for a few days now and still has an infantry. I guess he just planned differently based on what I was doing. Yeah, he has a tank going down here, and he builds his anti-air the same turn as my battlecopter, which is good on my opponent. I don't think there is technical base skipping with air units because they're so expensive. I think the ground units are more important. So I go for this city and I finally capture this. I go for this corner city here, which is actually pretty safe unless he uses something to scout that out. I put my tank right in his range of his artillery, and I move my artillery here. So yeah, I felt like if anything tried to attack my tank, it would get shot by an artillery, but unfortunately this artillery cannot defend my tank from this artillery. So I kind of build like a little wall here, move my battlecopter up, infantry moving forward. I go for this attack right here because I'm fairly comfortable going for this. 3 HP extra healing put me on even grounds in terms of HP, which made me feel more comfortable to damage this down to a 3. I capture this. I use my damage tank to bring it down to 1, which is enough for my 7 HP infantry to attack it. And I keep my anti-air hidden. You want to keep your anti-air hidden, and you don't really want to attack attack infantry with it, because if your opponent knows you have an anti-air in the area, they won't want the battlecopter down there. Usually you want the battlecopters to be near your anti-air so you can shoot it down, because that's a lot more value. Yeah, sure, you could reveal it and just deter your copter, but the copters have so much mobility than your anti-air that it's going to be hard to chase them down. I guess I'm trying to protect my tank with this. or I could just move it up to capture the city. I don't really remember what I'm doing. Put this on the HQ, because something down here could start capturing and I would get upset. Typical infantry moving forward. This one moves slightly up. I build a tank, a recon, and an infantry. Turn 11. Tank goes down, finally gets his comm tower, and here he starts taking engagements. Unfortunately reveals my anti-air with his recon. So now his battlecopter is likely to move further away from me and begins to interrupt my capture. And he puts it on a mountain rather than capturing, which I guess fine. I did have something that could interrupt it though. But I think he would have had a good chance to get the city. Looks like he loaded his transport copter. He moves it. Not gonna unload it. He just goes straight for the strong hit on my tank, which is really good for him. So now I have another crippled tank that I'm going to need to heal with. Goes his recon towards the center to scout. Recon goes in the middle to scout just a bit further. Infantry moves up, sees I have the city. Just like the comm tower, he can't do anything to interrupt it now. And now he builds his mech and his anti-air. So now he's got an anti-air coming to protect the top, an anti-air coming to protect the bottom, which puts my battlecopter in a predicament, I will say. And in addition, he builds his own battlecopter. Probably sees I have one anti-air down here. Perhaps might think the top might be safe. Alright, turn 12. I capture the cities and I completely interrupt this cap. I reveal my artillery. I guess this wasn't the greatest thing, but it does prevent this infantry from ever capturing or attacking my infantry. Move my tank down on the city and do really good damage to his recon, 4 HP. The duo tanks, again, just leave another unit at 1 HP. Put this unit down here to scout. I can see the 2 infantry and the battlecopter down there. I decide to move this down here in hopes of covering somewhere down here. Infantry moves in, finishes off the recon. Move this up to protect the city. Recon comes in and scouts. I go for a hit, get a nicer trade because I'm on a forest. And I move my tank up closer towards the center to try to cover the middle. I go for this very greedy hit. I think this hit is very greedy, but I guess I also did it to mess with his funds, because you buy units in thousands, and just being 100 or 200 short can really hinder it. Like, look at mine. I'm at 1990. I could have had like a full 20,000. I just move up, capture the city, pull this back to repair on a much further city, because he could have something up here. Because I saw this infantry, he has an artillery up here. I thought he would have some forces up here, maybe. Build like a slight little wall here to put my battlecopter here, so it is safe from any potential anti-airs. Reinforcements move up. The recon, the tank on the bottom, 2 infantry, and I build an anti-air. Sort of same turn as my opponent. So now I have an anti-air to cover the top side, just like my opponent. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom, because these battlecopters can go anywhere on the map. Which leaves me with enough funds for a tank and an infantry. You don't want to base skip. Like I said, you have less dynamic turns when you base skip. Infantry moves in to capture my property, puts his unit in the forest to potentially cover him. If I have a unit running straight towards him, he will be stopped in the forest. Goes for the neutral city. Recon finishes off my infantry. I guess I just took 200 funds away from him, but he's at a full 18,000 funds. So it didn't really count to much. Artillery, comm tower, infantry on the road. Yeah, it's not surviving. There's another artillery moving up. Battlecopter moves straight. Anti-air is moving down. And the battlecopter moves up. Still very safe from my anti-air. I think I just saw him get trapped there. Moves his tank up. Gets struck down. I think this tank was actually out of range of this tank because of the forest and the mountain. Here he builds a mech unit, but he's got a battlecopter up here. Okay, so his mech unit moves straight. Might move his battlecopter back. And then when it gets on next turn, move it forward again. Join caps. And retreats, because he knows he cannot do anything with this city. Yeah, like I said, transport copter moves back to pick him up. Tank. Infantry, tank. Back on my turn. And here I'm at 19,700. Could have had more, but like I said, I just basically healed for 6 HP worth of a tank. And it can get your funds if you're trying to get more expensive units. So anti-air moves up. And I decided to move this tank up because I feel a little bit safer now. Because I saw his infantry move back. My tank moves in at the bottom. Tries to interrupt his cap. Not sure if it kills. It just leaves at 1 HP. So he can join cap. But this infantry nearby, yeah, tried to scout. Unfortunately, not gonna scout. Recon moves up. Try to get something on the bottom. I see the city's yet to be captured. Anti-air moves up, stays hidden in the forest. I sacrifice this tank to prevent him from getting the full cap the next turn, because I had nothing else I could reach it. So yeah, I stopped him from getting this property, and I would say it's kind of worth it. I still have the property advantage. I move my guy up, kill his recon. Artillery goes for his infantry. Can't capture these cities as effectively. Infantry moves up. Oh, sorry. Infantry moves up. Battlecopter moves down. I guess I felt that I was pretty alright up here. And I wanted to assist the bottom because I guess it's because I saw more threats here. Infantry moves up here. I honestly don't know why. I guess I just wanted to scout something out. Keep my tanks hidden. Infantry moving forward. Tank, artillery. It's kind of funny when I look at this now. I don't know why. I guess I built these artilleries because I noticed that I have nothing that can protect these units that can go straight into an artillery. And I was like, you know what, I got a nice little wall here. Would have been nice if I had an artillery here, or anywhere here. Yeah, I honestly felt like I should have had them sooner, so to compensate, I just built double artillery. Alright, opponent's next turn. Moves up. Gets a very nice hit on my tank up here. Anti-air comes in. I would say kind of worth it, but again, he reveals that he has an artillery, so I have to take that into account. Yeah, tries to capture the city here, but unfortunately, it's just one off because that tank that I sacrificed prevented him from evening up the funds. Moves his guy back. Pulls units further. Again, this artillery just one-shots my infantry. I really don't know what I was doing. I guess I just really forgot the artillery up here. Anti-air moves up and does really good damage towards my recon. And I think he kills it. Yeah, he kills it. I would say kind of worth it. There goes my vision. Artillery comes, shots my infantry here. Pulls his pulls his units back, gets my tank. Moves his infantry back to protect his recon, loads up his mech, moves his tank forward on the top, and he's bringing more infantry towards the top. He brings his mech down on this mountain to get closer to the action, and as well gets vision. Tank, mech, tank. Looks like he's gonna be ferrying mechs with his transport copter. So now I'm behind. I am behind by 3 units. He has more infantry than me. When it comes to tanks, we're even on tanks. I have more artillery, but 2 of them are back here. So yeah, turn 13, I actually felt like, alright, this was a really bad turn for me. I gotta do something. I pull this down, I pull my infantry down to get some scouting done. You get a lot of information actually. Infantry here, city not yet captured, tank here, battle copter there, and I get the value off the anti-air. Here I attack on the plain rather than the road, because you want to get as much defense as you can, because defense is really good. These 2 infantry move in to attack and kill. Infantry are moving forward. Move my tank down. Again, leaves it at 1 HP, but it's okay because the infantry can come and interrupt it. I bring this recon up here to interrupt this cap, and I completely do. So this cap was at 1 point away, and because of that tank I sacrificed, completely stops the cap entirely. Move more infantry up to capitalize. Tank moves up. Artillery, I guess I sent 1 in the middle and 1 towards the bottom. Battlecopter moves down, just out of reach of the anti-air because I can see it. I don't think he can see it, and I finally tech up to a medium tank because my weaker side really felt like that I could use a stronger unit, and therefore the medium tank rolls in, and I have enough to fill my bases with infantry. So now, day 14, he has his power, he has a super, but the only thing that it will heal is 1 to 3 units. That's all it's going to repair. So, he moves us down, leaves it at 1 HP, surprisingly, pulls his infantry back, brings both infantry to kill, mech scouts in the middle, puts his transport copter in range of his mech to ferry, moves his guy up. I think I saw that. 2 guys forward actually. Uses the anti-air to attack. It's fair, I guess. Recon moves in, kills. Just outside of my artillery range too. Another tank moves in. Tank moves up. He loops around and kills this infantry, which I can see why. And he uses his battlecopter to attack here. If he attacked with the battlecopter first, this infantry would have been healthy. So minor mistake on his end. Pulls his infantry back. Recon, infantry, tank, battlecopter. Alright. So, remember how I said that covering fire isn't as great versus Andy because of his super? Well, let's just see where it would hit now. Let's just go to the movement planner and see. We will go to Rachel's CO power, and we'll show the missiles. So here, as you can see, the missiles will go for this recon, infantry transport copter. This missile is going for the 3 infantry here, and this missile is going for the battlecopter, anti-air, and tank, which looks pretty alright. Although personally, I would like to see a missile go up here maybe, because I feel like these are more threatening. But yeah, a good player versus a Rachel, he knows how to. They know how to play around a covering fire. And here, because I'm blind, like I can't see the middle here, I can't see all that's back here. I thought that my opponent would know how to play around covering fire. So I move my infantry up to scout. I can see he has an infantry here and 2 infantry down here. And I use Lucky Lass. Oh, I'm gonna have people flame me for this. I just know it. But yeah, I went for the Lucky Lass. In hopes of getting lucky shots. So I move my infantry up here. It's getting 3 defense from this tile, and it deals 9 damage to this infantry, and mine is left unscathed. So yeah, this infantry is going to take 20 days to capture this city, and I still have a healthy infantry. Tank moves up and just one-shots the recon. Let's pull out the damage calculator, shall we? Damage calculator. The attacker is my tank. Defender is this recon. 91 to 126. And if I remove the Lucky Lass, it would not have killed this recon in one shot. So yeah, it got a really nice roll and it killed the recon. I moved this up to capture, kind of stupid, but I wanted to force him to use a unit to stop that cap somehow. Tank. Tank on anti-air. Let's go see that real quick. With the Lucky Lass, it is 70 to 105. Without it, it would be 64 to 72. I one-shot it as well. I got very, very lucky with that attack here, completely stopping the anti-air, making my battlecopters a lot safer to go around the top, but I don't have any up there currently. Artillery moves up to hopefully protect these infantry, although I am exposed up here. Whatever's attacking my artillery will be right near 3 powerful units. Tank against the artillery on the city down here. It will leave it 54 to 81 against 50 to 56. So I think this was good for a follow-up. Yeah, I left it at 3 damage, really good for a follow-up. Recon down here, I did not get a very high roll on this. This was not worth doing, honestly. So I move my tank up here, bring it down 9 to 2. Again, damage calculator. I don't know why I keep doing that. I guess I'm just very specific. 66 to 105. So I had a very good chance of one-shotting this, but I just bring it down to 2 HP, which is still fine for me. I'm okay with this. I move in my 1 HP tank to join. Helicopter moves in, and it can kill this anti-air. Infantry moves up to capture. Anti-air moves up. Damage calculator again. And we will see that it would do 30 to 69, 27 to 30. That Lucky Lass didn't matter. It would have killed it no matter what. I move this up to capture. Lucky Lass makes the 2 infantry here even. Go move my infantry up, capture. The rest of my units move forward. My artilleries, my infantry. I build a medium tank on my strong side. I think I forgot to move this one. That's my bad. So this was something that I failed to account here. I keep forgetting that I'm playing against an Andy. When you're with other COs, you normally don't think about healing, but Andy's hyper upgrade is really scary when you have a bunch of infantry. a bunch of half damage units. That can get very scary. But he doesn't seem to use it this turn. 7 to 5. Because of my power, all my units do have a 10% bonus defense, which is very nice. Infantry moves up. Can't do anything about it. I don't think this battlecopter can reach either. Brings my infantry down to 1. Tries to interrupt this cap, but I still have lucky last, so I counterattack very hard and drop him down to 1. Mech comes in, kills an infantry. Have 4 infantry is used to stop this cap. Tries to attack this, and I do get a better trade because I am on better terrain. Let's also not forget to mention that I also have lucky last still. Joins his infantry, so now we're back to even. Puts his infantry on the HQ, possibly to defend it. Helicopter recon moves up, tank moves up. Mech gets ferried closer to the front. Helicopter moves up because he can see this anti-air. This infantry spots out my artillery and does 6 damage. Could have done more, but he does have a defense boost from the power. Artillery, pretty alright spot. Anything back here is gonna die. Also has another one to help cleanly finish off any lingering units. Anti-air, helicopter, infantry recon. So now I have less units than my opponent, but I do have more unit value. Most likely because of these medium tanks, which cost, I believe, 9,000 more than a regular tank. I get a nice good hit on this first strike, this top infantry. I move my infantry up to hopefully spot out anything, and I spot out the recon, and I deal damage to it. Yeah, just getting first strikes, and I decide to reveal my medium tank to force my opponent to back off. Usually in Fog, you sometimes want to keep your units hidden, but here I'm kind of posturing myself. Like, alright, I've got a bigger threat here to protect these, so hopefully you back off now. Recon stops their infantry, and I begin capturing. I'm ahead 2,000 in funds now. A helicopter moves up. I pull my tank back because my infantry can't finish off that helicopter. I put my artillery here. Oh no, that's not the unit I'm talking about. I know I think I saw that there was a mech here because of this recon. So putting anything behind my artillery would be bad. I decide to move this artillery up here because I noticed that I'm very blind in the middle. If he ever goes for this city or this comm tower, this artillery can cover both properties. Tank moves down, gets a first strike on this infantry, and I move my anti-air here rather than the back because it would be in range of the mech, which would be very brutal. Oop. Yikes, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna speed through this one. Yeah, anti-air stays on the bottom, medium tanks moving up, infantry follows up, and I have enough funds for copter, tank, infantry. Day 16. Infantry moves up to scout. Helicopter gets a very nice first strike on my helicopter. Mech comes in, interrupts the cap. Mech gets another good strike. These mechs, I guess, they're stronger than infantry, but you're not really getting a lot of value. If a mech can hit an artillery, a tank, or even an anti-air, then I would say it has a lot of good value. Tank moves up, hits me on the road, pulls his top infantry back. Recon moves up. He already saw most of this, so the vision of Recon didn't matter. He pulls his artillery back and attacks this tank. This artillery, it's covering these 4, so this is a really nice artillery. Uses the infantry to finish it off. Units move forward. Tank moves in, stops the cap entirely. Helicopter moves in to attack my artillery. So now he's got 3 battlecopters here, and I have 1 anti-air. Usually, I like to build 1 anti-air for 2 copters. If there's 3 copters, I build a 2nd anti-air. And he builds more battlecopters. Mech, infantry, recon. Yeah, I have 2 battlecopters to his 4. So he doubles me in battlecopters, but this battlecopter is dying. The second one's in the back. So I used Lucky Last again because I felt that I would get a lot of nice hits with the following moves. Tank moves up, and this was just really bad. I do kill the recon, but let's do the calculations. So this tank, it does one-shot this recon. No, it doesn't even matter. Didn't even matter. But yeah, attacking this recon just put him right in range of a 4 HP artillery on an HQ, and Andy has his hyper upgrade. This is gonna go back to full and hit me really hard. Oh man, when I moved this infantry up here and I saw this, I was like, oh man, that was so painful. I finish off the infantry on the top. Artillery stops this infantry. And again, I probably could have gone for this, but again, I forgot I was up against an Andy. So I just leave it to 1, which is not really good up against an Andy. And again, I want to keep my anti-airs hidden, so any battlecopters that come down, I could take him out, but most of his battlecopters are back down here. So yeah, this Lucky Last turn was not the greatest. I loop around, do 1 damage to his mech, scout out with this infantry here. I would say over here, I should realize that I'm overextending. He has an airport and a base down here. It's very close to him. He could get his units down there in like 2 turns. It's gonna take me like 3 to 4 to bring my fresh units up here. Recon hits this mech, so he can't hit me really hard. Artillery stays in the force to hopefully get some cheap shots and move out of the way so my anti-air can hit the battlecopter. I have a tank on a city attacking a unit on the plane. Get a very nice trade-off, but again, he's Andy. I completely forgot that Andy had his power. I at least finish off the mech. Excuse me, tank moves up. Infantry moves up. I build another medium tank on the top, because I'm like, yeah, this is about to get shot. Might as well just reinforce it with another tank. Build a recon, because I noticed I'm blind in some spots. And an infantry. I put this artillery, I kind of expose it, but it covers this spot here, and plus if he's using a unit to attack this, he's doing what I want him to do. Day 17. I think we can see where this is going. A lot of numbers on the map. Hyper grade. And I think he gets some really nasty shots in this turn. Helicopter moves in, hits my tank. But let's also remember that I have my power, so I am getting defense. Infantry, I think he has an attack boost, so he can do 1 to my tank. Surprisingly doesn't kill my tank, but that's just the power defense that I have. Anti-air moves up, kills that unit on the city. Battlecopter moves up. Kind of what I wanted him to do. Infantry finishing off my infantry. Mechs are being ferried into the forest, which is a pretty nice spot if I ever try to go aggressive. Hits my tank for 5, so yeah, that was brutal. Loops around, kills my kills my infantry. Another infantry moves up, shoots that. Artillery in good range. Tries to hit my tank, dropping down to 3. Exposes my artillery and hits it again. Infantry, recon move in to scout the center. Units are moving forward. Tank, infantry, tank from my opponent. Day 18. Again, I am behind in unit count, but I'm also behind in funds. Not in funds, but in value. I still have an income lead by 2,000, which I think is what's really carrying me throughout this match. I'm down in units just by 1. I'm down in unit value, but I have 2,000 more funds than my opponent. Tank moves up. Fortunately, does not kill. I would have loved to see it kill. Pull my units back. And here I use this anti-air to go for this battlecopter. When there was a battlecopter up here. This was a huge mistake on my end. I was so... how do I say this? I was so caught up with the idea that this is gonna guard the top that I could have gotten 4,000 value had I moved this anti-air down here and attacked this battlecopter. Huge mistake on my end. Huge mistake. I thought this one was going to carry everything down here. Sadly not the case. So my medium tank moves up, finishes off that weakened recon, I believe was recon. Yeah, no, it was a tank. Recon moves up to scout out to see if there are any anti-air specifically, so I can move my battlecopter up. I expose my battlecopter. It will force my opponent to move back since I don't see any anti-airs. Unless he had one here, then this was a wasted copter. Artillery gets a cheap shot on this anti-air. I don't kill, unfortunately, with this infantry, but this battlecopter surely will kill. The artillery moves back for the repairs. Infantry moves down. These infantry move forward. This one moves down to protect my city. And everything's just moving forward. I decided to build my own battlecopter, and I have enough funds for tank, recon, and infantry. Day 18 goes back to the really nice artillery spot. Can protect this artillery, but it's not on his city. We're late in the match. These labs don't matter because we don't have lab units, and this city and this city have remained neutral because neither of us have captured either. I'm trying to see where I had the advantage in income. I think it was... no, these two corners are even... yeah, I don't want to waste time thinking. So battlecopter attacks the medium tank on the city. Not very good because it's on the city. Again, 2 damage. It's not going to do a whole lot to the medium tank. Infantry could not finish off my recon, so it still has use. It's out of the artillery range. Anti-air can finish off my artillery. And there goes my tank. Desperately trying to heal. Gets trapped in this forest here. From this anti-air. So I guess not too terrible that this stayed up here. He moves his infantry forward. Possibly headbound for that city in the corner. Tank, anti-air. And he moves his infantry back to cover his city. Day 19. Obviously anti-air to battlecopter. I think this... I can't remember how many battlecopters this anti-air has killed, but it's getting amazing value staying alive. I decided to move this up to try to kill his recon. Scout out again. Getting really good first strikes and finishing off his units. And here I'm like, okay, you know what? It's time to stop hiding. Time to move this out and actually start finishing off things. 2 anti-airs, they're really close to each other, so if one of them dies, obviously the other one can go kill whatever battlecopter. Here I get a really good first strike against this mech. So now this mech is at half health. It's not going to do a whole lot to my tanks now. I bring this battlecopter up to get a really good hit on this artillery because I haven't seen any anti-airs on the top. Move my tank on the city, his city, but medium tanks on cities really strong, as you could see from the one that was here being hit by 2 battlecopters. And again, just my forces moving up. Artillery is moving towards the center. Tank hides in the forest. Artillery tries to repair and hopefully cover something. Infantry, anti-air. So now day 19 again. No, not again. Day 19 for my opponent. He unfortunately sees my artillery. And he has units going for my city, left undefended. Again, he's just using his mech to kill other infantry, which I'm not seeing a whole lot of value. Moves in, leaves my artillery at 3. Anti-air at 3. Oh no, I did it. I can finish it off. Uses his battlecopter to finish off mine. Even though it was really weak. Moves it back up again to maybe try to capture, but I'm pretty sure I see it. Buries in infantry this time. Battlecopter, infantry. Loses tanks forward. Artillery, infantry. I guess this guy really just liked having 2 artilleries on the top. So my turn. Third lucky lass. Pretty sure this is my 3rd lucky lass. Because I see some damage units here. I have some units over here. Let's make magic. I go for that mech kill. It was on a city, so I'm curious now how that would have turned out. $45 to $79. Yeah, I would not have killed it. So yeah, I didn't leave it at 1 HP. It died. I moved mine down here. Get a first strike and a nice trade, even though he was on better terrain. I captured the city because I want him to force an interruption. And anti-air was safe enough, was close enough to attack his battlecopter, so it ended up working out. This is getting very good value. I move in, tank on an anti-air. $75 to $99. 6974. Lucky lass helps me kill a unit once again. So now my battlecopter can move forward. Artillery moves down, protect my properties. Again, capturing another one of his properties. Tank moves up, leaves it at 1 HP. Let's go see if it would have killed. Sorry if this damage calculator is a bit annoying for you guys. I'm sorry. Oh no. 91 to 126. I would have had a really good chance to kill it, but unfortunately that was not the case. So of course I just keep it in the forest to kill. Recon moves up to scout. I have 4 recons. No, 3 recons. Oh man, did I build excessive recons? I personally like building recons in the middle of a match because vision is very good in fog, obviously. So if I lose a recon, I won't hesitate to build another recon. Artillery has some nice coverage, but pretty sure it was spotted by my tank. Helicopter moves on the mountain. In case something over here can move in and kill my battlecopter, I keep it safer in the back. And yeah, my units are just moving down towards my stronger side. Anti-air, battlecopter, infantry. Trying to keep my bases loaded. Day 20. Transport copter is running out of fuel, so it's been ferrying units back and forth a lot. Goes for the interrupt, but I don't know about that positioning. Yeah, he could have attacked from this street, from this road, so this infantry can move down and stop it completely. But I guess if it's at 4 HP, it probably wouldn't matter. I still have the HP advantage up here because I am getting a little bit of defense and a little bit of attack and lucky last. So I'm still ahead on HP down here. And here he goes for this capture. Big mistake on my end. I left it undefended. I can't reach, and he's about to even up the income. But I would say the 2,000 income that I had for most of this game, I would say it's done its part. So he moves down. You can see all 4 of these cities, and he puts his artillery here. It can protect this infantry, and if this infantry goes for the city, and I try to interrupt it with a unit, this artillery can kill or get a shot off. Puts his tank down to interrupt the cap, and it stays alive because of my power boost. And yeah, he's got his tanks moving down. Even attacks my infantry with his units, sending units down. Anti-air, battlecopter, infantry. Day 22. Artillery gets a really nice hit off this tank for this other one to finish it off. I move this up here to scout, and I deal good damage to his anti-air. Recon moves in, kills the infantry. Anti-air kills his infantry at full health. And I move mine closer, kinda to the city so I can start capturing it. Infantries are moving up towards this bridge road area down here. I think I moved something back up, I can't remember. I think it was the recon. Yeah, I moved the recon back to attack this infantry with the battlecopter. And I finish it off. And I begin capturing this city. Tank moves in, drops it down to 1. Artillery. It has a really weak front to defend, so it could most likely die, but again, he's going to be forcing units to try to kill this artillery that is semi-protecting the rest of the units around him. Recon moves in, gets a good hit off that infantry. Anti-air and battlecopter move up. So I'm worried about these cities now. Like, I'm lined up here. He's going to get this city. I at least want to protect these cities as well. So this is my little skeleton crew protecting this flank, while my main forces are closer to the front up here. Infantry moves up, and a satisfying battlecopter kills anti-air. That is always satisfying to do. Again, the rest of my units are moving up. I build a tank to protect here, and another tank back here to reinforce. And I go for this capture, I think, which probably was a mistake. I should have used this tank and probably moved it up here and maybe put this infantry on this mountain to scout. Mistake on my end, because it's going to leave my artillery open. Infantry dies, and the recon is just enough to kill my artillery. Battlecopter moves down, gets a pretty nice hit on my tank, but look what I have close by. Moves his infantry to scout and clear the way to attack this recon. Captures his base. So what did I capture to make it even? Or maybe it's not updating. I could be wrong, but yeah, he finally gets the corner up there. Moving his units up, finishing off whatever he can. Tank, recon, tank. So yeah, now it's updated. Now we're even on income. I begin to capture, and I join cap. So it's going to be left at 8. Still will take 2 turns to capture, but it's just more defended now, because the higher your HP is, the more defense you get from terrain. I join cap here, so now it's down to 2. It will have to deal 9 damage to stop me from getting that city, and I go get this city. I pull this back to repair, infantry moves up, anti-air, it does its thing. Recon scouts it out. It would be overextending, but I have a lot of forces in the middle. I was hoping to catch anything trying to move up here. And this tank was perfectly in artillery range here. So I can finish off this tank. Anti-air moves up. I already have a second one down here, so might as well cut off his vision. Looking at it now, I think a lucky lass during this turn would have been nice. So I finish it off. Yeah, lucky lass honestly would have been really nice. But yeah, I'm just leaving units damaged. Yeah, typically you want to damage more units rather than kill units, because a damaged tank cannot deal as much damage when it's at low HP. This isn't Fire Emblem. Infantry is moving up, recon stays in the back, and this battlecopter, I had a feeling something would be on this mountain and then maybe try to get the city. So this battlecopter is very safe from anything except a missile. Battlecopter is gonna finish off that infantry, and my units move forward. This tank moves up to help defend the top, and I build another medium tank. I think I have 4 medium tanks now. Day 22 captures the city, so now he has now turn 22 he has an income advantage, but I have 30 units compared to his 16. Gets a nice first strike on his battlecopter. Surprisingly does 2 damage to my battlecopter with his infantry. I was honestly very surprised when I saw that. Pulls his weaker tanks back, because he could have had a tank, a healthy tank attack this tank. Even though it would die, it would still be a damaged tank, so leaving low health units forced him to retreat. Anti-air goes for this recon instead of this battlecopter because he cannot see this battlecopter. He can only see this recon because it's on his property. I bet this battlecopter probably had a heart attack when he saw that anti-air. Tank moves up, recon moves up. Desperately trying to reinforce. He builds tank, infantry, battlecopter, recon. So now, day 23. I capture this city, so now I'm back in the income advantage. I join cap on the bottom, but nothing's really gonna stop this cap. Recon moves up to scout. I do another lucky lass, cause why not? Yeah, I don't think that infantry would have died because he was on the city. 88 to 115. Yeah, I just completely closed out that infantry. Tanks moving up to protect the city. Battlecopter drops him down to 9 HP. Tank to anti-air. 1 second. This Lucina cursor is so cool, I'm sorry. Okay, I had a small chance to one-shot it. Boom. Finish off the anti-air so my battlecopters can roam safely. Recon's gonna finish it off. Tank moves up to kill this infantry. Battlecopter surprisingly does not kill this tank. It is on a forest, I will admit. So of course my recon's gonna finish off this battlecopter. Tank finishes off. Keep my medium tank hidden in front of my other medium tank. These 2 infantry are ready to capture this city and this comm tower. Like I said, you want to have infantry follow up with your units so you can start capturing properties, which is why you don't want to base skip. Another good reason to not base skip. And infantry are just moving up. This one's also ready to capture this city. That artillery is still hidden though. Tanks are moving forward. Battlecopter moves forward. Another medium tank. So I think that's like my 5th medium tank. Yeah. Day 23, my opponent's turn. 14 to 32. I'm more than double him on unit count. I have 1,000 income ahead, and he resigns. Yeah, at this point, he was 50 to 36. Holy crap. Can I move this around? Oh, sorry, I cannot move it around. Overview. 23 infantry deaths. Holy crap. Compared to his 22. But yeah, you could see he does not have a whole lot to stop this cap. I have a big unit that he cannot, a big group of units that he cannot see in the center. So yeah, at this point, he felt that it was worth to resign. I'm knocking on his front door with these units, and yeah, perfectly reasonable moment to resign. So yeah, like I said, that was a very fun game. Went back and forth in the middle for a little bit, but that income lead really helped me out, and I had some pretty interesting first strikes with my Lucky Lass. I think it's a little underrated, a little bit. Sure, it's not the greatest in comparison to most units, but I once saw a replay where there's like 2 battle copters in range of a battleship in Scavenger, and yeah, I think they were able to kill that battle copter, kill that battleship with the battle copters. I'm sorry. Yeah, I also decided to use Lucky Lass because covering fire can be negated by Andy's power, which is why I felt that Lucky Lass was a bit more proper in this situation. But yeah, that was a fun replay. I'm glad to be doing these again. I'm gonna try my best in hopes to do more, but I don't want to do replays where the matches are one-sided. This one didn't really feel one-sided. It kind of went back and forth, and then, like I said, it was also funny to use Lucky Lass because I know I'm gonna make some people mad for using it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, these are fun. I hope to do more Advanced Wars by Web content in the future, and thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. This has been Advanced Warrior, and you all have my warmest regards. Take care.